two, three. All right, perfect. That way, line it up and you comfy there? You good?
Perfect.
Keeping an eye on the... See, you can see the clap over there.
I see that beautiful clap getting ready. Clap with the clap.
Exactly. Clap with clap. So, man, thanks so much for taking the time to come over.
Yeah, there's a pleasure we've been talking about, and I think it's necessary to do.
Yeah, definitely.
It's information people need to know.
Yeah, you've lived such an incredible...
We try our best to serve the spirit of the music, you know. That's what we do.
That's... What a place
Percussion, writing, singing.
What a nice place to start. So what's your introduction to music?
So my introduction is very funny. But my real name, is everybody need to know, is Edson Aparecido da Silva. Café da Silva.
Here, I'm going to turn off the air conditioner, too. So
That's right.
Nice
That's
quiet.
okay.
Continue before we get any...
We can start.
No, we don't have to stop. It's okay.
No?
We leave it. Yeah, it's fine. Everybody knows.
So Café da Silva was very funny because, I was a little kid, child in Brazil, and the color of my skin got very red. So I was looking like a coffee bean. And then I have these friends looking to my right, Flavio and Aparecido, and these guys come out all the time, café, and run away. Café and run away. I have a slingshot. Every time they call me café, I slingshot them. So I end being café for the rest of my music career. And also, it was a negative side, but it was a positive side because café is a produce from Brazil, Africa, Brazil.
Yeah.
And my name, I'm a black man percussionist.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful, and I took this name, it brought me a lot of good luck. So I did a lot of work. I'm so blessed.
Wow.
I still dreaming, do lots of more, but be grateful for whatever we have at the moment.
Yeah,
And
so
good things coming.
So you took on that name in childhood, and I'm assuming that's kind of when you also first started, being curious about music.
That's funny. Even my mother, my daughter, my son, my dad is the one called Edson. The rest everybody, café or black, or café or black, and it's kind of nice because it's kind of cozy.
Yeah.
It's cordial, lovely.
Yeah, right.
And that's it. That now is Café da Silva forever. Even when if I have to do copyright, I put a Edson, A-S, Edson da Silva, Café da Silva, because Café da Silva is what come in the right connections, right?
Yeah.
Anything I do.
That's what everyone knows you as.
Yeah, that's right. But it's very interesting. I'm telling you, I am so lucky. I start my career like a percussionist or musician. My father loved to sing, and he played bandolim.
Yeah.
So he used to play all the beautiful classical shores from Brazil. So I saw him. So my mama used to have a nice furniture, very low frequency. So my father is playing.
Very low frequency furniture.
Yeah, very low. So I end up broken. My mom's it started rattle, this.
Yeah.
Who did that? I don't know, mommy. I don't even know. So then with that, I started to learn to play a pandeiro.
Yeah.
For the chorinhos. And then eventually tambourine, eventually shaker, eventually repique, eventually cuica, agogo. So I am so far, being around for a little while, I learned to play maybe 200 or 300 different kinds of percussion instruments. Wow. And if I like the cultural side of it, because, in Brazil, we are descendants of the Nigerian culture, the Bantu, the Congo, the Ketu, the Nago. Without these cultures, we don't have Brazil. So I have to learn all this beautiful drum, Ningoma, PTP, all these beautiful things. I have to learn.
Yeah.
You know, the Cuica, who was very low in Africa, to hunter lions. In Brazil, because we start making aluminum, so that he get a high pitch, and then start to be an instrumental for the school of samba.
Wow.
So the bass drum is a sequence of the first, the second, the third, the fourth. You know, 1,000 main play drums in Brazil on a parade.
Wow.
So it was very interesting to me to, you know, and it's like I say, you go play soccer ball, you're already on the music.
Yeah.
You go see a festival, you're already on the music. You walk on the streets of São Paulo, Rio, you're already on the music. So music is part of our grown up. It's our culture, really.
It's amazing.
So with that, I learned to you know, I want to be a musician, but my dad, because he knows the music business, they say, no, Edson. Musician is very hard. It's very hard. And we have a lot of musicians in the family. So go play some sport. Go to the army or go do something. Go box. Okay, then. So I did, you know, even work with him when I was 13 years old, work from 5:30 in the morning to 12:30. And then afternoon, I take care of my brothers. I was the oldest. My mom and my dad. I have one girl and 4 boys. So I was the cook, the wash, take them to the school, and get beat up when they make a mistake. that's part of life. You're the oldest. You're responsible. So that was very good, very interesting to me. So I, by myself, start develop friends, and I have a Jair, I have a Jesse who would love to play guitar, and we started a little group. You know, the coqueluche on that time was Jorge Ben.
Yeah.
Jorge Ben. So
Yeah.
we used to dance and play all the songs of Jorge Ben.
Yeah.
And I have this friend, his name was Carlos. Nice little kid. He has a bar.
Yeah.
And he have a pair of congas.
Yeah.
And I always have these things with a hand instrument.
Yeah,
So
you
he
told me that
he
before.
let me borrow a conga, and that's when I start develop the music. And to play a good conga player, you have to know a little bit about the African and Cuban music,
Yeah.
the styles, right? But then we grow up. I want to be a good musician, so I have this friend like you, bass player. His name was Maurici.
Yeah, stay up on the mic like that because you have such a lovely voice, man. Your voice is so nice.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah.
And Maurici invited me to go be sitting on the symphonic orchestra to listen a year of Beethoven. And what's interesting, so I did go with him so many times, you know, bam, 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 brr, bam, how beautiful. But I was very young, running, play soccer ball in the army.
Yeah.
I'm ready for activities.
Yeah.
So I start go to the sessions, the spiritual sessions, when I really start playing the Afro-Brazilian music. From there, I start work in the nighttime in Brazil. I work with in great clubs. We work. My first contact was with a group from Rio. I remember it was São Brasil Exportação. I remember everybody, Castelo, Celso, Mané, you know, Pedro, Zé Carlos. So we start. I was in the army, but we start do gigs with a group called Lee Jackson. Lee Jackson was samba rock. So we playing samba and they play rock and roll. So we go to all these ocean cities in Santos and, you know, all this. It was beautiful stuff. So from there, you know, I'm moving. I have to move. I'm young. I have energy. So I start to work with this group called Grupo Batucada. Was Simão, Robson, Aguinaldo. The guy who really helped me develop Congo, his name is Carlinhos Caolho. He was a very great player, crazy like a motherfucker. I'm sorry expression, but he helped me a lot. in terms of congas and slapping sound techniques. So from there, we work on this club in São Paulo. The name was Chefão, Largo do Arocho, the place where all the capoeiras and the gays, it's a big city, São Paulo. So from there, we start work with a club named Jogral, was a jazz club with the best place, Toniquinho. I remember, wow, Papete. I remember Manezinho da Flauta, Geraldo Alves, Célia. I remember all this beautiful thing. Life keep going. I'm going to the arm in the morning, play in the nighttime. In the morning, go to the the commemoration. Sometimes I get that too late. I work all night long, and if you're military, you cannot use your uniform in the nighttime. But also, you have to have a permission to be to use the clothes. I don't have so many times I have to go down the Consolation, the name of the Avenida Consolação, down, hiding by the corners because of the patrol, always passing by the patrol. That was funny. So from there, I did have a contact with this friend of mine. He was a good piano player, Sergio. Sergio was a good piano player. Unfortunately, he is already home. Sergio and Célia, they are my good friends. We have this player writer. Her name was Renato Borg, and Célia Helena. She was incredible theater. Miran. They invited me to do a theater piece called Rezas de Sol para a Missa do Vaqueiro, Play of the Sun for the Vaqueiro. So this play was so beautiful. Rio de Janeiro, Fundação Nacional das Artes, FUNARTE, invite us to go there. So we stayed there around 1, 2, 3 years working there. That was my change from São Paulo to Rio. My route connects. In Rio, I always liked to study every day. So I wake up in the morning, jog on the beach, and go home, change, go to the Sala Funarte, go to the rehearsal place, my congas, my timbale, my bongo, and all day long. So this guy, he used to pass by. Sidney Miller was one of the very good composers in Brazil, and the other guy, Sidney Miller, and Maria, and has another guy who he will come. They pass by and look every day. They put this kid just start every day. What happened? So when finish our contract, everybody back to Brazil, to São Paulo. Right. And he told me, we have a project he called 6:30, 6:30, Projeto Pixinguinha. Pixinguinha was a saxophone. We would like to invite you to be the percussion over the place.
Wow.
So
how old are you at this time?
I was on the 28s, 29s. That was when things started flourishing. So it was around the 79, 80s. So I get there maybe in 78, 79. 80s, things start flourish. So I work with all the great players because every week change the group. I was the musician, I was the percussion. So from Fafá de Belém, from Dona Ivone Lara, from Monarca, and Paulo André Barata, Fafá de Belém, all these people, Fagner, all these great guys. I work with them every week. So things start get well, right? I'm doing good, and then I meet some friends who sometimes come out without work. They ask for café. I just come from someplace. I don't have a gig. So my good side of the main, I always found a way to give them a week of a gig and get sick and put them. So I have a lot of respect I've been very well respected by these actions in Brazil. So I have all percussion players. They really love me a lot because
sure.
I was no competitive. I was like I believe every human being has the right to succeed, to eat, to pay the rent, and to live decently, and how I was doing to me, right? So from there happened one very interesting thing. I start this percussionist. His name was Marçal. Marçal was one of the old players, and also
Percussionist.
percussionist, and also he's arrangement. He make arrangements. He
He's
invite
an
to the
arranger.
people to record. He knows who he want on the
Right.
sessions.
So he's the guy.
Yeah, Marçal. And Marçal's father has a son, Marçalzinho, who was my friend. So we did a lot of stuff. RCA, Odeon, Polygram, Global, Channel 13. I did work with Clementina de Jesus, who was a old black woman
Yeah.
from Brazil, really African, adapted in Brazil. So I even wrote a song for her in her homage. I used to carry her on a little seat to the television, me and a guitar player. Yeah. So on all these movements start happening. Chico Buarque did a piece called Ópera do Malandro.
Who's Chico?
Chico Buarque de Holanda, he was one of the greatest composers in Brazil.
Wow.
Chico, yes. The family Buarque de Holanda. So he has, his sisters, everybody singing. He well connected with Franz Himes, with Edu Lobo, with, John Alf. Oh, these people. I was the best time in my life because young musician, and I have a good attitude. So everybody want to be
You have
close.
great. You have the
So
best attitude.
I did it.
You have
wonderful.
really taught me
I appreciate
quite a bit about attitude.
Hey, so what happening after the Ópera do Malandro? Chico invited me to play soccer ball on Barra, far away. That when I'm sorry. Yes, before this, I did one first concert with Djavan, Fátima Guedes, Filó. We did a project Pixinguinha all over the Brazil. So when
Is that where you met Djavan?
Yes. When we back, we start playing this soccer ball every Saturday. One day, Djavan come to me and say, Negão, he'll call me Black. Negão, I'm going to make a band. Can you work with me? I say, whoa, this is going to be a pleasure. So
you were there from the start of Djavan.
From Djavan, he already has 2 albums before.
But did he have a working band or?
No, the band was our band, Sururu de Capote. That's when.
But the 2 albums before were studio.
Was studio musicians.
Cats. Yeah.
Paulinho Braga,
Yeah.
Hélio Delmiro, Ari Piaçarolo, Luizão was the best bass player.
You've talked about it.
Yeah, Luizão.
Are some of these guys still around, or most of these guys have passed on?
I think Ari Piaçarolo still. I think Hélio Delmiro, yes. Paulo Braga, yes. I think who more? Luizão passed away, and also his nephew Arthur Maia. Arthurzinho passed away. So I was in contact with these people, and was the best time in my life. So Djavan invited us to go to Angola. We did the first project Angola.
Wow.
The name of the project was Projeto Calunga, and it was so beautiful. I cried like a baby because just to see that white sand and the coconuts tree and the kids, everybody, yeah, the kids playing.
So what year is this?
1980. That was
1980. You went to Angola.
That was my first trip outside the country.
Was to Angola.
Angola.
That's amazing.
Angola, Catumbela, Morta Catumbela, Cambinda. I was going up to the hill, play with the native people. I was playing percussion with the native. And I met this guy, Fontinha. Fontinha was a guy who played only guiro, but it was a guiro this size. So this has all the, African stuff.
Wow.
So that was beautiful. Then, Djavan, we back. We did the album Seduzir. Then we did the album. We did 3 or 4 albums with Djavan, and then he invited us to come to LA. We did an album who was one of the greatest albums of his career called Loose. Stevie Wonder was the play.
Right.
Ronnie Foster was the producer. Moacir Santos, Harvey Mason, all the bass players, Abraham Laboriel.
Whoa.
Jerry, something, the flute, Raul de Souza.
Jerry Dajian on flute.
Luis Conte with us. And that was beautiful. So we finished the album. We back to Brazil, and Djavan told me, Negão, I'm going to take a little break. I said, okay, but he was Djavan, and I was just the musician. So Simone invited me to go to Japan. It was in 1983, 84. So we did a big tour in Japan with a company called Mignon. That was beautiful stuff. So from there, when I come back, I stay in LA. I brought a little suit for Paulinho da Costa, one cuica for Luis Conte. And I meet this friend of mine from Brazil. His name was, Felipe. Felipe Genial, because his father used to have a little cart selling hot dog in Rio. So the name was Genial. Felipe, Carioca, né? Roberta! Call Roberta Fleck. Roberta, café. The percussionist of Djavan is here. I should say, ask for him to come and give me audition.
Wow.
And okay, from LA, I come to New York, and I did audition, and I got the audition. Then I stayed with her almost 10 years with Roberta. So Roberta was responsible for my upcoming New York. Roberta Fleck. I am.
So she moved you to New York, essentially, right?
Yes.
But you were living in L.A., right?
Yes, I was there, just passing by because.
So when you went to Japan, you were still living in Brazil, right?
Brazil. I was not planning to stay. It was a trip. I came, but then things happened.
But you flew through L.A. to go to Japan?
We did it.
Transfer in L.A.
And then LA back. When we back, I stay in LA. I said, I'm going to stay in
Right, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was just getting that clear for the listeners. Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then all this development.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful. And I am so grateful. And then with Roberta Fleck, we did go to Japan. We did go a few times to Japan. We did the United States a lot. Then we did go to Brazil. She was in Brazil playing in my cities. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And then it was funny because we inaugurated a very new club in Brazil. And first time, Roberta Fleck, Kill Me Softly, everybody in Brazil want to see. So my family 30 people come to see. And the guys of the club was pissed off. No, we cannot do this. And Roberta say, if the Café family doesn't come in, it's no concert. It was so fun, right? So I have a lot of respect for her. And I know she's going to change. Each one of us go to change. I hope one day I can retribute all this joy to give to me. She give to me because she's an incredible lady.
Yeah.
I remember Larry McRae, Philip Hampton, Barry Silverline, Terry Silverline. Wow. Larry McRae. Oh my God, the girls are beautiful people. All them is okay. Then in New York, I arrived in New York in 1985. The first person I met was Sérgio Brandão, Raul de Souza, Luiz Aguiar, and Carol. We sit down on 7th South Avenue, and I don't have a house. So Serge invited me to go live with him and with
Wow.
another guy who was a photographer. In a moment, there's so many information.
Wow.
So
No,
from
this is
here,
great. This is great.
from here, I met this friend, right, Duduca da Fonseca.
Oh man.
So Duduca, we have this group called New York Summer Band.
Yeah.
Bob Minzer, Rain Breakers,
Yeah.
sometime Michael Breck.
Wow.
Yeah, the Duke of La Fonseca, Mark Coyne. What are so many people? The bass players. I'm sorry, friends. I love you guys a lot, but it's so many contact, and we
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there,
Yeah.
Herbie May invited me to play with him.
Heard from there, Herbie Man. invited you.
Yes.
But what was this band called? The one with you and sometimes Michael Brecker and Randy and
New York Samba Band.
New York Samba Band.
Samba Band.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
And it's funny because I used to have this tune called Three Express. Three. But because the metric is in three,
Yeah.
it was hard to improvise and back on the beat. So Bob means it all the time. I think, I'm sorry, I messed it up again. I say, no, Bob, just the contrary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
So it's like a big three.
Yeah,
One,
three,
two, three. One, two,
yeah, I love
damn,
this
your
stuff.
mouth drumming.
Yeah.
Your mouth percussion is better than.
That was beautiful. So from there, then happening, I started work with Herbie Mann, and then from Herbie Mann, we did a lot of stuff with Herbie.
So talk about Herbie Mann. So you met him.
Herbie Mann was the most honest, sweet, great musician, great human being I met in my life. Most very respectful to the Brazilian culture, or to all cultures, but a great musician with a great taste, and he knows who they want to work with. So that time it was myself, Romero Lubambo, playing this, Nilson Mata played with them, Duduca da Fonseca played with him, Sérgio Brandão played with him, Claudio Rodrigues, all the great Brazilian players did have
I
the
only met Sergio once.
Ciro
but
Batista.
the one time I met him, he made you feel so.
No,
Close,
I'm telling you, Sergio, God has him great place. We've been together for good 20 years. Work with this project. It's so funny.
Yeah, you brought your CDs, right?
This right here, this,
it out, guys.
this André Konakov, the old and the new Brazilian tales.
Here, let me see. Let me see.
This is incredible.
Old and new Brazilian tales
some
for
beautiful songs.
people who are just listening.
Paulinho Braga.
Andrea Kondakov with
Yes.
Sergio Brandão and Paulo Braga.
Paulo
Cafe,
Braga.
Paul Bolenbach, my
Paul
man.
Bolenbach, my
and
God.
Boris
Boris
Kurgov.
Korgonov.
It's probably available
It's
on streaming
incredible.
too.
Has one ballad called Something Light. That ballad, every time I hear this ballad, I cry. Because Serge, boy,
Light of Hope.
That light of hope.
Yeah, Light of Hope.
This is one of the greats. And Andrea is an incredible composer because he's a Russian.
Yeah.
And he's writing all Brazilian songs. So that was a phase, André Konakov. And between that, I'm recording with Bernadette Brown. I have to keep a look here.
Yeah,
because,
you had a list going.
I'm telling you, from Chuck Mangione to John Lucien to David Liebman, Eliane Elias, the Fly Monk Orchestra, Edu Lobo, Batacoto, Gilberto Gil, Annie Watts, Paquito de Rivera, David Byrne, Baden Powell, Tom Harrell, Richard Stoltman, Joyce, Judy Niemak, Danny Gottlieb, Herbie May, Anna Karam, Birelli Green, James Taylor, Djavan with Steve Wonder, Sergio Mendes and Handbrake. We win a Grammy with Handbrake called Into the Sun. It was beautiful. I love that. Joseph Jonas, Baggy de Cumulo, Gil Goldstein.
Gil Goldstein.
Oh my God, Randy.
Wow.
And this young kid, I always forget his name, Adam something, guitar player.
Oh, Adam Rogers. Yeah, but he's not a young kid anymore,
No,
man.
but
He's older
oh
than me.
my God!
But back then he was
Oh
young, huh?
my God! I don't know. Very, and it's funny because I have a son, a stepson who look just like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dave.
We
Unfortunately,
played with Adam, remember, at Iridium? With the Brecker Brothers Band
I
reunion?
love him. Yes.
Yeah, he's killing
I
it.
love him. So
Amazing.
from that, I did some movies, theater, like a performance in Brazil with Mick Jagger, and a video just another day.
So what? Wait, hold on. Stop on that one. How did you wind up playing with Mick
Very
Jagger?
funny. I'm in Brazil and I receive a phone call.
Hmm.
Listen, Mick Jagger's in the city doing a video and a studentina, and I needed two percussionists. I like to you. It was myself, Ita Moreno, Glauco saxophone, and this guy passed away. Oh my God, he's my one of the great friends. He passed away too. So we did this call, just another night.
It's a Mick Jagger song?
Mick Jagger song.
So you're in the video?
I'm in the video. Yeah. I did that. So from this video, we did it. Then the video, David Byrne, Margaret Menez. Then we did PBS, Harry Belafonte and Friends. And then beside,
And stay up on the mic too, so they can hear you.
yes. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. I want them
And
to
then
hear all of these.
yeah, I participated of the turning point move doing percussion. Then I participated the move Beloved. This was a great time. And also we appeared with Ashford Simpson, with Maya Angelou, with Michael Brack, Paul Winter, Astrid Gilbert, Bette Buckley, Onagin Alan Gambis, Alex Forte, Lucio Love, Manfredo Fest.
What was it like to work with? Who did you just say?
Lucio Love.
No.
Onagin.
Brazilian artist. João Gilberto, is that it?
Did Astrid Gilbert.
Astrid Gilberto,
I do,
right.
yeah. God has it in a good place. Astrid was a very good lady.
She just passed away, didn't she?
She just passed away. It's like Astrid passed away, and also João Donato, who we are very friendly because I play congas and he used to say to me, Café, let's record a cubanito. He loved cubanito. All the music he created was on that vibe. He was a very good musician. Only one John Donato. Only one John.
Oh, say it one more time.
Only one John Donato.
Yeah, right.
And then we work with Lenny Andrade. I never met Doris Monteiro because she was a little bit old generation.
Right.
But from there, I hear also Manfredo Fest, David Kekosk, Aiden Essen, Vinicius Cantuara, Claudio, Tony Cedras from Africa, from South Africa, Diana Reeves. I did Apollo with Diana. And it was fun. Then I have this group of myself. This is the group we call Ancestors. Myself, Dom Salvador e Cidinho Teixeira, que Deus tem em bom lugar. Cidinho Teixeira was a great piano player.
Okay.
Cidinho also passed away. This was Ancestors.
And you're working with all these different people.
Yes.
What do you think are the qualities in you that allowed you to get through you've been through all sorts of traveling, all sorts of recording, all sorts of good times, bad times?
That's beautiful.
What do you think from you
Right.
that you learned?
I think I didn't make a choice because I've been writing songs from a very young kid, always writing something. But inside of my mind, I have this vision. I say, if I want to be a good percussionist, I have to learn different styles. I have to play with more people. If I just make one song and I'm very successful, I'm going to play that song for the rest of my life, I will not grow. So to play with a reggae, to play with a Afro jazz, to play with Afro Paquito, to play, all this David Byrne, Steve Winwood was my last gig.
Yeah, right. You were talking a lot about that gig.
It was wonderful, great man, was a good time. Unfortunately, everything has beginning and end.
Yeah, right.
Life is beautiful like that, but I respect him a lot. And I was in his house. I met out his family. He always took care of us with respect. What can we expect more?
Yeah, exactly.
And a great musician, play a B3 organ with the foot on the, bass on the foot. Miss you, my good friend, but life was good.
Yeah,
It was a
Of
beautiful
course,
time.
there's always new things on
It's
the
a new
horizon.
day. And then we play with Gato Barbieri, Tania Maria, Paul Winter.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was
And you think working with all these different types of people, like,
was interesting. Tania was very good, very, very sophisticated player, very, how can I say, a woman with attitude.
yeah,
She's a player. She's a piano player. She knows what she wants. It was beautiful. I did a pleasure to work with her, with Dom Alias and Carlinhos Pandeiro de Ouro. Also, I think Sammy Figueroa, we did some stuff.
what about your relationship with Don Elias?
I really think, to me, Don Alias and Steve Thornton, I need to be careful with that, but it was the best American percussion players to me. And I know the man Black was an old man Black.
Yeah.
I know I love Nugadu, Leo Chancellor.
Oh, Ndugu Chancellor?
He was incredible. And also Bill Summer. I have a trio of Batav, Bill Summers. A lot of great players.
Yeah.
But, Don Alias was just like I am. He played everything, and everybody loves him.
Yeah.
The way
He's on so much stuff. It's crazy.
So I have a big respect for him, and I learned a lot with him. Even I remember before he passed, he was in the Blue Note with Dave Sanborn. I come to see him. And, I don't. Oh, Café, how you doing? I say, Don, we need to do something, Don. We need to leave something for the youth behind us. Yes, no, we're gonna do. Let's do. Say, okay, thank you. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weeks later, he did pass. And I did go to the Bronx to there. I have to go. Put my.
Of course.
And so it's so funny, but we're talking about the percussion. Then we have Tata Guini. Then we have a Changuito. Then we have oh my God, Ray Alfonso. Then we have Angar. Then we have a Pancho Quinto. Then we have a Ramon. Then we have a Pedrito Martinez. And all this new generation and a lot of great musicians.
Pedrito is pretty incredible. Man.
Incredible.
Oh,
and a wonderful human being. I really, we get together. When Pedrito come, we used to play almost every day until one day the police cut everybody because it was 10, 12, 13 percussion in New Jersey. Wow. And I love him. So one day I was doing a workshop in a university, and he was playing, and he invited me to play with him. Café, come here.
Yeah.
So I played the tambourine and the timba and the salsa. So I love and respect him. I did have the pleasure to go to Cuba in Varadero 82. That's when I met this guy, Ray Alfonso. And Nino is one of the best. He played 5 congas. He created a style called batabatum. He was incredible. And unfortunately, I think he did have a little imbalance. He finished his life. Wow. But in this part of life, so it's so many beautiful things. And
you're playing so many different styles, though.
I try.
And you're working with all these different people.
I try. I helped to produce this album. His name is John Dukas. We did a lot of Brazilian stuff. He sings. He's a great player.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
See Dave Stryker and Don Braden and Claudio Roditi. Late friend.
Oh, great. And then the guy responsible for me to work with with Steve Winwood was this guy, Jose Neto.
Okay.
I used to work in his band, and we play on London. And Steve Winwood saw me play with them and say, "Who is that percussion? I want to work with them." So that's when we start. In 2003, we start to work together.
And that's like word of mouth, you know?
Word of mouth. I never have a management.
You just, yeah, but I think it's a lot more than, that's not my phone. I think it's your phone.
Right, yeah.
But I think,
And then this is my first solo by myself. We call the Creation Child. And I already come
check it out, Creation Child.
Creation
Claffy
Child.
Silva.
I come with the second one.
Can you get this on streaming, like on YouTube or Spotify?
Spotify, yeah.
All that stuff, yeah.
And we have my second gonna come in. No, I have the third one called Meditation with Orishas 2 for meditation. And then the third now is gonna come like a tribute to the spirit of the forest.
Yeah.
3 songs for the Indian, the Brazilian Indians. I speak a little bit of the language. And
Stop and talk about that for a second. Yeah. So what is that language?
it's funny because of they call it Tupi Guarani, right? Tupi Guarani, before we have the influences of the Portuguese.
Yeah.
That was the main language. So it's many different styles of Tupi Guarani in Brazil.
Yeah.
Right? So I did a promise to me. I don't want to pass away without to learn a little bit or so. So I learned to say "Aguche." You know,
Aguche.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, you know how to say that. You're so grateful.
Aguche, the spirits of the forest. You know, the Yanomami, Tupi Guarani. You know, all these tribes. I have a song maybe. It's gonna be nice. 7 songs I did with David Chesk. It's gonna come out, and we are working out now. Finish the recording now. We want to do the business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like we met, I have this beautiful thing for these great musicians who changed the conception of bass on life.
James Anthony Francis Pastorius III.
That's right.
Better known as Jaco Pastorius.
That's right. And I used to see this man all the time, and a little bit out, but in. He was one of the great musicians you can be around.
He's the reason I play bass.
Yeah, not easy to be around, but if you respect him, he okay. I never have a problem. Yeah. So I have to write this little lullaby to Jaco Pastorius.
Yeah.
And I invite Santi Debriano to record. I invite Sergio Brandão to record. But I think who gonna end record is Alex Claffy. He's gonna record that. And a friend of mine from Brazil, we did one version, but a very jazzy. But I wanted the lullaby, and then I want the explosion.
You want the quality of the lullaby.
Yeah, you know, because we are musicians, and we can talk fast, and sometimes people don't understand our language.
Yeah,
we have to explain first what it is. And then we come with
improvise and do things with it and take them on a journey.
So this is a journey who I like, and I've been getting some invitations to put a group together. So maybe if I'm lucky, I'm gonna be a pleasure to work with Claff and Leandro Pellegrino.
Pleasure's all mine.
I'm gonna try to get Kennedy, Sifu Kennedy from South Africa, and I want to have a nice keyboard, 1 trombone, and 1 sax. I hope.
There you go.
This materialize.
The Cafe Ensemble.
Definite Cafe Express. That's the name.
Cafe Express.
I remember I have the song Trio Express.
Yeah.
I want a Cafe Express.
Cafe Express.
And, you know, it's a dream of our musicians. I'm not young that much anymore. Not on the physical, but good on the spirit.
Oh, you're the youngest person I know.
Good on the spirit.
And
I have a lot of dreams, and I want to fulfill some more of them. I did fulfill a lot of them.
You fulfilled a lot of your dreams.
A lot, yes.
And that's what I want to ask you about is for the people that are watching, because a lot of the people that are watching or listening, we have a small audience, but it seems to me from studying the audience that it's a lot of obviously musicians and people who are big fans of music, and maybe a lot of people who want to move to New York and play, and they're watching from different parts of the world. What do you think since you've worked with all these people and you've done all this stuff, what do you think are the top qualities to you that allowed you to work with all these different people and stay positive and talk about that?
First thing, I think we have to know who we are. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to create a dream. I was fortunate when I was 19 years old. I met this philosophy, a Japanese philosophy called Seichonoye, the House of Infinite Progress. This philosophy taught me how to be grateful and how to visualize. So I never have a manager, but I'm always visualizing good things coming. And I try to be fair. I try to work hard. I'm still not the best reading, but the best writer, but I can follow the music in many different situations. And, try to do your best. First, take decision by yourself. Listen to others, but listen to your inner voice, who's the most important thing. Believe in yourself. The universe is open for every one of us. Each one of us has the right to pursue the happiness and our dreams. But with that come discipline, responsibility.
Yeah.
Musicians, they keep and say drug, rock and roll, sex. Yes, this is our beautiful one time. But if we keep pursuing that for the rest of our lives, we don't gonna go anywhere because our body decompose and then we get sick. And like a bunch of incredible, great musicians who are already passing this world, they are there, and the true spirit of music is still here, and the true spirit is always going to be here. So it's a responsibility to know we are servers. It's not about how much I can play. It's how much can I serve. How much can I be good to other people? How much can I respect? And they say, the seed you plant is the fruit you harvest. So if you're planting good seeds, you're going to harvest good things. And I have, just for you guys to make sure, I have a son saxophone player, Edson Jr. I have a daughter, Rose Naye, singer, composer, and percussion. I have another daughter, Tisoli. She's a writer and she's a nurse. And my older son is a flugelhorn, but he is a computer. He loves to do designs and stuff. And I never brought them to the States just because I want them to take the responsibility of themselves to make a choice. Because when we come here, first year is a beauty. Oh, we got here in the summer, wonderful. Then come the winter. Then come the barrier of language. Then come a barrier of being alone. Then the barrier of have money to pay rents and all stuff. So nothing's impossible. Everything's possible. But we have to be conscient. So what I mean, faith. Whatever happens, always have a faith. And it will succeed.
And you always have faith no matter what's going on.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
On the high tide, we enjoy. On the low tide, we practice. Practice. Our musician has to practice. You have to know your craft. If you don't know your craft, you don't have a confidence. And another thing, sports are very important for us.
Yes.
I agree. Any kind of running, boxing, capoeira, jiu-jitsu, aikido, doesn't matter whatever you do, because the body has to be nursing. If you have a good speaker, you have a good sound. Yeah. You have a weak speaker, nothing happening. And I wish you, every one of you guys, very good luck. And I hope to meet you guys in the future. And maybe we have a jam session.
Yeah, I know.
And have so much fun.
I love that energy that you have about welcoming younger musicians. I felt that way when we were playing with Randy.
The future.
They said, "Oh, that's Cafe. He's a legend." And you were so
God
nice.
is a legend. The creator is a legend.
I still remember you were translating those Taino lyrics for me.
That's right.
And
it's not mine. It's belong to us. It's all belong to us.
Yeah. And you feel like the great musicians that you've worked with, which are many, most of them are in this giving
on that
spirit.
frame of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Milton Nascimento is funny. I work with Milton in Brazil. This project, 1st of May.
With Milton, you said?
Yeah, I have the picture here. I was playing Chico Buarque, Djavan, Milton, Nosso Samba, Fagner, Edu Lobo, Dorival Caymmi.
And this is all before you left Brazil, right?
No, before Brazil,
right.
On that project,
Wow.
1st of May. And we never talk so much. I always respect Milton was a very quiet person. So few years later, I'm here in New York, he come to the Blue Note, and I sit down with him, and he look at me and say, "Pois é, Café, we never talk that much." And I say, "Yeah, Milton, you have your way to be, and I respect your views." He said, "Okay, this is my birthday. You want to go with me?" So we did go to a party of his birthday a few years ago. So another thing I have to say that I was having this guilt feeling. Djavan is my brother spiritual. Djavan helped me a lot like a human being. Djavan was my angel. He opened the planet Earth to me to traveling. And when I left, young people dreaming, but I always have that little feel of guilt. And I say, one day we're going to talk. One day we're going to talk. So last April, Djavan was here on the town hall.
Yeah.
And then I go see him. I was so happy when he saw me say, "Negão, você veio. You did come. Oh, Café, come here." And give me a hug. And I told him, I said, "Djavan, forgive him." He said, "Café, I know your heart.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You don't have to ask for anything."
How many years
I
was
know.
that?
40 years later.
40 years later.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
was a cleansing to me. And I'm telling you guys, listen to Djavan, one of the great composers.
I feel like in the New York music scene right now, it's a renaissance of young people being like, "Man, have you heard Djavan?"
He's a lover.
Antonio too.
Yeah, he write poetry. He have complex meters, and it's a great harmony. And sweet like a kid. I'm telling you, Djavan is my best friend.
I mean, the harmony in Brazil. You guys have taught us so much.
Quanto mais me ouvidas, te quero mais estrelar. Fosse viver sem você, não sei, não sei, não sei, não. Quanto mais. Doidice, Djavan.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, my buddy Cliff, that's a pleasure to be with you.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we...
I want to add happiness to this world. We need to enlighten ourselves and make this place, they say, this piece of land ours. We have to make shine because here is the paradise. We keeping about to go to Mars, to moon. First, we, like a human being, we have to evolve, enlighten ourselves, clean all this little dust we have, and then we take care of our own home. And to the politicians, I really respect you guys. One time you want to go up, and then we allowed you guys to go up. And now you don't want nobody else to touch you there. You want to be there by yourselves. This is not fair. The world belongs to... We are born the same, created equally, but individual.
Yeah.
I hope you guys understand.
No, yeah, totally. And I guess a last question for you. What else do you practice to stay so young? Because you're one of... I won't even tell your age to everybody, but Café is older than you would think.
Yeah. Café is 71, almost 72 years old. And with God's grace, I'm so glad. But one thing, I always practice sport, like my dad wanted me to do. I be 5 years on the army. I always practice sport. I play soccer ball. I play capoeira. I play box. I did a little bit of aikido. Now I'm jiu-jitsu. I'm blue belt jiu-jitsu. And nothing to fight. It's just to keep myself confident. We need confidence in this world when people keep pushing you down. If you don't have a confidence,
Yeah.
and to be able to go practice, good arm to play congas for hours, then try the guitar a little bit, then try the piano, try the saxophone,
Yeah.
keep trying. You don't have to be. It's just gonna make ourselves a better understand of the music,
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
That,
Just
that,
by
yeah,
repetition and
yeah,
practicing.
and open learn. Don't get old. They say the brain is the most important thing. You cannot waste your brain. The most perfect computer given by the Creator to us.
Wow.
And we keep our faces on the telephone, who's very interesting. Yes, a lot of techniques, a lot of technical stuff being help us to record and everything. But don't forget, the true energy is analog.
The true energy is analog.
We need analog. Human beings need analog sounds.
And do you think
to nurse their spirit.
you always knew this since you were young, or it was a growing
Learning process of learning?
But you have a deep
listen.
spiritual thing that you've been practicing for a long time. But it feels like was your family deeply spiritual, or?
Well, okay, that's interesting. I always believe life is infinite. I don't believe the Creator created us to die. They say He's no death to the humankind. So we always in the evolution from one hemisphere for another hemisphere to another. Until we don't need to be around anymore. So that's giving me a confidence. I'm not afraid of die because I know that it's not death, it's transition.
Wow.
And that's my belief. I don't want to pass to anybody else, but it's advice.
No, that's and I think that's a beautiful place for us to wrap this up. Thank you so much for doing this, Cafe.
Thank you.
You're the man.
And they say God is love, and love is the resolution. He is the revolution.
I could just leave you here by yourself, and you could endless inspiration, man.
God is good. Thank you. Bless.